Uh, we'll, uh, we'll be talking in a few minutes with Professor Glenn Yago, who's going to present his Financial Innovations for Economics Development course at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, which is a mandatory course to join also our Global Fellows program, whom he will introduce and talk about. We'll be happy to answer any questions. I think we'll first show the PowerPoint, and then you can write on your chat or raise your hand for questions, and we'll be happy to answer any informative questions, technical questions that you may have. Since we're a lot of people on the Zoom, please keep your mic closed, really raise your hand or write in the chat if you have any questions. We're also here accompanied by Esther Eshet, who's our Global Fellow from Nigeria here in Israel. She'll also be happy to answer any further questions you may have. So, Mike, to you.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us. I do want to encourage, if you think you've got enough bandwidth where you are right now, to please go ahead and turn on your cameras so we can all see each other. And let's walk through a little bit what we are trying to do. A little problem with some traffic on the slide here. We will work through this. So basically, this is this course, and first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Glenn Yago. I'm here at the Jerusalem Institute's Milken Innovation Center and the Blum Lab for Developing Economies here in Jerusalem. That's an applied research institute that was founded by the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and the municipality here. I teach at the Jerusalem Business School, and this course has been designed really for specifically the purpose of trying to develop an ongoing process of innovation between us and the developing countries. We've developed that very much here in this country, having been a developing country for many years, and the problems that we have had have gone global, and we know them now as the Sustainable Development Goals that the UN was involved with in 2015, that I'm sure you're all familiar with. This is our team here at the Jerusalem Institute, as described earlier, with Orly, who you'll hear from a little bit more, who manages our fellowship program. My colleague, Steve Zecher, who has a long history of work in economic development in the United States, and in Israel and Africa, and in many parts of the world, and with many of the projects. And Esther Maya had been with us as a coordinator. And this is, we work very much together here at the Jerusalem Institute at our Innovation Center. I just wanted to describe this little slide about how we work, which is really at our center. Basically, we have a work process where we try to research and analyze, convene the number of business leaders and financial practitioners and technology leaders together to focus on these issues of sustainable development goals. And what we are trying to do to design both innovations in financial securities and business models, as well as in putting together and analyzing projects together and bringing this down to the ground level, and sometimes below the ground if we're dealing with problems of groundwater or irrigation or issues of soil science and plant science, and the whole range of areas that we're working with to do so. Let me just ask anybody who has not put themselves on mute to please do so. We've got some background noise here. And Esther, if you can help me identify who's got their microphone still off, and you can just send them a note as well. We need to keep that in the background noise. So thank you very much for identify partners in this process, because we believe that by working together and by building innovation teams, we can come up with these market-based solutions and find the toolkit, identify the toolkits that are appropriate for the sets of problems that we're dealing with. And this is very key to the way that we are attempting to process and really develop projects that can then be financed through the securities markets, through the capital markets in the world, and to crowd in private capital and public capital together to bridge the capital gaps that we're facing. We've done this a lot here in Israel. We've done it also in the United States, and in Africa and in India and in Latin America. And here you just see a number of the different labs that we do. We call them labs, or they're really structured workshops or transactional workshops where we try to do the research and really build the capacity around financial and technology and together to be deployed, targeting all of the different areas of the SDGs, be it in food or in water or in health, in health security, food security, water security, all those areas that are central to building the energy security as well.
Hello, Prof.
I'm
Please
sorry,
kindly unmute yourself.
I went on mute, but I hope you're hearing me now. So we're looking
Yes, we can hear you.
these types of capital formation and impact investment and regional innovation partnerships and global innovation partnerships to structure both financial instruments, organizations, or processes or platforms. So innovations cover all those three areas. And we try to deploy those to the specific problems at hand. And that's what you'll be working on, as I'll explain in just a moment further about this. This financial innovations course is described here, and you've received some of the background information from Esther earlier, is an attempt to look at both the new intermediaries, the types of instruments, the new services, platforms, and techniques to create jobs and build communities that enable capital formation and economic growth to occur. And it covers all these different range of targets that I've talked about, both enterprise finance, project finance, as it relates to issues concerning environmental finance, climate finance, energy finance, medical solutions, affordable housing, regional development, all of these different areas that we're all concerned with. The course gives us an introduction to the toolkit, the structural changes and the connections to capital markets and development finance, and to look at these problems through the lens of finance. We know the litany of all of the detailed problems that exist in terms of inequality and poverty and climate change and migration and smart cities and all of these different areas, but we need to find out the answers of how. We know what the what questions are. This course is very much the how questions of how do we mobilize to solve that by being able to deploy both equity and debt and hybrid instruments into these different development finance challenges. And we've done that in many different cases, and that's what we really want to focus on in building the pipeline of SDG goals. This is also, as Orly had mentioned, and she'll go into a little bit more detail on this later, a prerequisite for participating in the Development Finance Practice Fellowship Program, which is a certificate program as part of the Global Masters in Development Practice that exists in 37 universities all over the world. The Hebrew University certificate, in conjunction with our center at the Millikan Innovation Center and at the Blum Lab, is to basically give you this intensive training and then deployment on a specific project that you will identify in the first 3 months of our course. This is the footprint of our current fellows that have been around the world. We've been of course, prior to COVID, we were able to bring people to Israel for part of the training. We hope to be able to do that again. But in order to be resilient and knowing that we have to work through the problems of the pandemic and the health crisis, along with the economic crisis, in order to bring the flow of investment to be stronger in developing countries, we can't give up on our work and to work very closely together. So we've been very blessed here over the last year to have, but we're also very lucky to have partners like you who are on this call. We had the same process last year when we knew we couldn't bring people to Israel for training as we'd done in the past. And we were able to go through the course, identify a group of fellows that were able to create their projects, and then have been able to mentor them and to have the training go in place along with resources in country where people are placed, and to provide both the technical support, the financial support, to make these investable projects. So our objectives is to really build capacity. It's really technology, finance, and you are the people who are the capacity that will be able to be the force multipliers in the future, to invest in your professional training and your professional development in order to create and scale these services and technologies and come up with really what the product is and the deliverable, a project implementation plan that is able to fulfill these, move the needle and to move change forward in accomplishing the sustainable development goals. We know that we've fallen behind on this, and we've already fallen behind before the pandemic occurred and the economic crisis that's accompanied it, and we have to run faster at this point. So our approach is to build human capacity through this graduate course, applied research in mechanics, financial mechanics that you'll have both with the course and then specific training on that with Steve and with other folks that we will bring in, and to be placed with where you're either currently working or at wherever the project would be placed, where there'd be a sponsor or a partner for implementing your project. And then eventually we hope to bring people to have field trips associated that we'll do not only virtually, but hopefully physically, and to develop this in the whole range of applications to SDG problems. So that's our curriculum. We cover indigenous or new growth theory. We teach you a lot about what the advances have been in climate finance and in growth finance generally, and have developed this curriculum. Our course will be joined by a group of students here at Hebrew University School of Business, but also students from International Development and the Public Policy program at Hebrew University and some of the other Israeli universities. And we'll also be joined by 20 students from the University of California at Berkeley, who their semester has already started, so they will join with you on October 10th as we start this semester, and we'll have at least 10 sessions together. And they're from also all over the world, many from your home countries as well. And they will be working on project implementation plans as well. So that's the linkage between this course as a prerequisite for the fellowship program and for the opportunity here to at least take the course and be accepted to the course and then to move forward into a potential fellowship. Our unique selling proposition, we think, is what we've learned in the developed country here in Israel, but also lessons from the United States and Europe and other developing countries as well. We're part of the international platform of the Milken Institute, which has offices in Singapore and in Abu Dhabi and in Washington and in California, as well as the network of Blum Centers for Developing Economies at the University of California. So those are the resources and platform that we have. And I just wanted to give you a few examples very quickly and then open it up for questions and maybe have Orly give a few specific comments. But these are some of our past fellows. I want you to get a little bit of a sense of how they started off just the way you are right now. Hearing about this idea is, what does finance have to do with it? And how can we use financial tools in order to deploy and accelerate the adoption and deployment of technology to solve these problems? So in this case, Elsie Kagai, who's one of our fellows from Kenya, worked on a project on the food and fodder connection and trying to develop a deployment of specific precision irrigation equipment for fodder, for feed fodder in specific, and increase the yield with less water inputs for the deployment of precision irrigation, and to get away from the dependency on rain and lower yields, and to try to increase the number of yields, which she was able to do from 4 tons per hectare to over 16 tons per hectare for fodder crops, in effect 1,250 folks, and address these SDG goals. Really, the SDG goals are our Northern Star, our ways of evaluating impact of the projects. It included the deployment of water technicians and farm operators, and a program to increase government revenues from irrigation and water bills and income taxes, and a better utilization of pricing policies, as well as new technologies in equipment and accessories, baling, silaging, and fodder. So that was Elsie's project, to give you that idea. Rafilwe Bellavisi in South Africa from the University of Witwatersrand has been working on a project to help profile the standardization of controls for SME borrowers and to facilitate referrals to financial institutions and accompany the applications for SME projects. And in so doing, to lower the risk assessment for people, for the banks and the institutions that are providing those inputs. So it provides an element of fintech deployed to the specific issue of trying to overcome the information asymmetries and improve the risk mitigation for people applying for that, and how that's affected the SDG goals of reducing poverty and increasing decent work and economic growth. Another example was Caleb, who's working on green energies for smallholder farmers in Oyo State in Nigeria, and increasing yield for 600 tons of leafy vegetables and peppers over the next 5 years in Oyo State, by again putting together a portfolio of identifying production technologies, also information and data inputs and database development for smallholder farmers to give them access to that type of technology to improve their output and their income, their water efficiencies, and in so doing, increase the income of smallholder farmers, and very key here, also provide information and connections to the supply chain so that offtake agreements are for smallholder farmers as well. Another example of this was Fatima Umar, working through the UNDP in Kaduna State, and the Kaduna State also in Nigeria. They were trying to overcome this. This was a project that changed completely from her initial inception of it, which was to perhaps create a public-private partnership for existing storage units, to one of really transforming those storage units and decentralizing it to farm co-ops and farm intermediaries to enable warehouse receipts to finance credit for offtake agreements, again, for smallholder farmers through this invention of hermetic storage that would decrease moisture loss in grains, insect attacks, and provide stability of grains both on and off seasons. And you can see the SDGs that were developed there. So that's our basic idea here, is that you would end up with a project implementation plan that would be investable, that would be able to solve a problem and create a critical pathway for an investable project. We'd start on October the 10th with the course. We finish on January the 14th. We'll be meeting on Wednesdays together with the students at Berkeley and at Hebrew University. We'll have a 3-hour session on those Wednesday evenings. And we look forward to being able to work with you. I hope this has provoked some ideas that you might have. I want to just give you some idea of how we are really trying to work with building partnerships. So you can see we work with NGOs like Solidaridad or Finera, the Rwandan Green Fund, or Google, Our Crowd, a number of different organizations, as well as government ministries, some of our financial partners as well. You can see here, we're a very transparent organization. We work very closely with the R&D labs here in Israel, both our agricultural research organizations and R&D, private R&D labs and university R&D labs, to try to move things from laboratories into the field for coming up with better means to increase total factor productivity, a term we'll talk about a lot in the course. So I hope that gives you an idea, and we want to just go directly now to Orly, if you just want to add a few remarks about the fellowship itself. And we'll go forward with some open discussion for the next half hour.
So thank you, Glenn. I think you got the big picture of the course and the fellowship. I do want to add that it is mandatory to attend the course and to hand in a project at the end of the course to be eligible to join the fellowship. So before COVID, we had the fellows come to Israel, and the fellowship was here in Israel, and it was for 6 months. Now that we're in COVID, we had for the past year and a half the fellowship via Zoom. And actually, it was a great success. We had training on the Zoom. We had the meetings with the fellow through the Zoom. And it was really, I think it was a great success. So I just want to mention that although we have COVID, we're continuing full speed with the Global Fellowship. The Global Fellowship does give you a stipend of a certain amount in dollars, and you get it through your bank account. It's a stipend for 6 months. So you probably have a lot of questions and we'll be happy to answer. I do want to say that after the course, it's not that you're automatically eligible to join the fellowship. Of course, we have a limit of how much we can accept, and we do have a screening process also after the course. So do we have any questions, or we were very clear? Anyone raising their hand? Or don't be shy. This is not the screening part, so you're more than welcome. I see Celeste. Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Please.
I'm Celeste from South Africa. I would just like to check, is there a limited amount of how many fellows can you accept to join the fellowship?
So this year we had 9 fellows, global fellows, and yeah, so we do have
and we had another, we also have Israeli fellows work with you
right
on this program too. So we had another 6 of those.
Yeah, we have a few programs working the same time. We have Israeli program, we have the Global Fellows program, and we have an alumni program. We do have a limit of how many we can accept, yes.
Is there also a limit for who can join the course, or how many people can partake in the course that is offered?
No, as long as they have reached the screening process, they can join the course.
We do need to have applications, and we'd like to just go over the basics of what your academic background is, where you are, and we're trying to create some standardization of the course levels. Sometimes people are earlier in their training. We prefer people to already be in an existing or having finished either in a graduate program or finished it. Let me just ask Celeste, if you wouldn't mind, I meant to say this in the chat, you might have missed it, but just to introduce yourself, what country you're from, and just a few words about your interests. Every time anybody, because we got a lot of hands up now.
Sure.
But Celeste, I didn't get a chance to tell you that, but would you introduce yourself?
Okay, so I'm originally from Cape Town, South Africa, and I have my master's in education, and my main focus is education for sustainable development. Education, so I have a background in information systems as well. And yeah, and now I'm looking at developing into smart cities and GIS. So that's me.
Oh, excellent. Where are you speaking from now? Where are you?
I'm in Jerusalem right now, actually.
You're in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, let's stay in touch then. I'm going to ask Esther to also send you this afternoon. We have a session about a Ghanan education bond. We actually have a transactional workshop about an education bond, means of financing that we've been, some of my colleagues at the International Finance Corporation worked on, and we'll send you, or while we're getting questions, maybe I can find it and put it in the chat.
Yes, sir.
You bet.
I see we have, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing the names correctly, so please accept my apologies. Nicholas, Alifa, I see you raised your hand. Yeah.
All right. Good morning. It's morning in Nigeria. Good morning, everyone. This is Nicholas from Nigeria. I have a master's in food science and technology with major in food processing and preservation. Currently working with Agile Co-Agritech Limited, providing smart solutions for farmers and connecting them to market and finance. Actually, my question is, I have 2 questions. Number 1, is there any other special application to join the course? And then after the course, is it automatic that you be transferred to the fellowship, or you also need to pass through some screening process to be part of the fellowship?
So I'll start with your second question. After the course, no, you don't automatically join the fellowship. As we also told Celeste, we do have a limit of how many people can join the program. So we do a screening process. Following the emails, following the Zoom, we will also send you a link to join the course. If you are interested to joining the course, then you have to fill in the link, send your CV, and then we'll, as Professor Yago said, we'll review your CVs and hopefully you'll be able to join the course.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Dear Rafael.
There's a question Oli,
Yeah?
there's a question on the chat from Zikito asking about age restrictions, age limits.
So there's no age limit. That's the quick answer. Okay.
There may be an age limit if you're too young, but not if you're too old. No age discrimination here.
Dear Rafael, do you have a question?
Hello,
Dare?
can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can hear you.
Dare.
Okay, my name is Abiola from Lagos, Nigeria,
Yes.
and I realized from the culture if other areas are not being mentioned about, or they are not the core areas that you guys are working on. Do you understand my question?
No,
I didn't understand it.
Can you write the question in the chat? I think that we'll be able to answer better.
Okay, I'll do that now.
In the meanwhile, I see Dare is with us. You had a question.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And I want to really appreciate Professor Yago for his laudable presentation on financial development projects towards financial development. I work with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. I'm a statistician. I have my master's degrees in economics, and I also engage in open data initiatives. You will recall that Nigeria is currently working towards the binary review, and I am one of the principal officers that handles activities of binary review. Now, my question is this. I would like us to probably provide the fellowship handbook, because if we have the fellowship handbook, it becomes very seamless to understand the nitty-gritty of the fellowship. Secondly, for us to be able to plan our activity in line with what we do in our various offices, I think there is a need for a structured curriculum that will show duration so that we'll be able to plan effectively. I also want to request that this course curriculum probably may be sent to so that we can follow in due course. You have rightly said that this is not an automatic fellowship, but it depends on the course and then the number of limited space available. So I want you to consider this and probably revert. Thank you very much. Over, please.
So thank you. I'll take the question and answer. So first of all, currently there's no cost that you have to pay. I mean, the course is currently, we're providing it and there's no payment. And as I mentioned, the fellowship, we give some kind of stipend. And the curriculum is online of the course. You can see it under the course, Financial Innovations for Developing Economies. It's on the web. Everything we do is free to see. And once you join the Global Fellows Program, you also get the curriculum of the program itself. So the course, you can just go Google online and see the syllabus of the course, and you have it bi-weekly meetings and you can see everything. So I think I answered the question. I see that Titoso Shambizi has a question, raised his hand.
Hello, please.
Hi, thank you. Oh, it's a she, sorry.
It's okay. Yes, my name is Titosi Chembezi, and I'm from Botswana, but currently staying in Cape Town, South Africa. My question is, do the fellows have to have completed their master's degree before they can enroll in this program. I'm currently in my master's degree and completing my coursework this year, remaining with my thesis for the remaining half of next year, but can still work as well. So I just wanted to know if that would disqualify me or I can still apply.
No, that would not disqualify you.
You can still apply.
We welcome applicants that are in a degree program currently.
Okay, thank you.
Totse, if you could just, what was your interest area?
So I'm currently studying financial technology. So I'm very much interested in financial inclusion, whether, so what I've worked on previously is alternative credit scoring for helping people in the informal sector access finance. And then I'm currently working on or helping out a fellow on his project for, he's using data science to help small farm holders access finance. And yeah, anything that's like fintech related is where I specialize in.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Hello.
Talia? Talia?
Hi, hello. From Nigeria. So my name is Chinaza Dimejesi, and I have a question. My question is if there's a restriction on, how will I put it, one's background, like educational background, if one's educational background is going to be like a restriction to being a participant of the program, because my master's is in business administration, management specifically, and I'm a human resource officer. But my career interest is to be able to enhance people's employability skills so that they become more employable, they have more access to information that gives them the opportunity to become, to improve their employability skills. So I really want to know if this is one of the things you guys, your program is about. Thank you.
Well, let me take that one, Orly. I think it certainly is one of the areas that is of great interest. In fact, in the section of the course that's on impact investment, we'll be discussing about a new type of instrument called career development bonds, which is a form of a social impact bond, but focused on financing skills and skill development and tying it to individual savings accounts to finance education and advancement. So that's clearly an area that is of interest, is career development. And we have some great examples of where that's been used in this country in retaining people into computer science and technical training programs. And then also some experimentation of that that's going on in Africa and in other countries on career development bonds. That's definitely one of the appropriate targets.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Muhammad? Yeah, Muhammad, I see you raising your hand.
Yes, hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Muhammad A. Muhammad. I'm in my final year studying Masters in Development Economics. And I'm the managing director of A Tree in Paradise. Our mission is to plant trees that will mitigate the harmful effect of climate change in Nigeria. Yeah. So I want to request, maybe after the lecture, if there is any research or like an assignment given to us so that we can be able to have, adequate knowledge on the course that we are doing. Thank you.
Well, I believe, Esther, tell me if I'm wrong, but you should have a descriptive page about the course. Esther, do you want to, Orly, would you want to discuss it? What's been circulated?
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed, for your question. So the course information, I don't know how you heard about the program. but the course information is available on our website. It's available on all of the emails that that we did share with several of the networks we have across the continent and also across other countries where we have partners in. I'm happy to share with you as well the link to the website right now, so you can see all the course, all the information about the course.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
I'm probably not going to pronounce this well. Osakodalo Imusili.
Hello. Yes, it's Osakodalo from Nigeria. Okay, so my question is actually kind of similar to I think Chinasa or Chinasa's question, where because I'm very, very new to the development industry altogether. So my first degree is actually in economics, and my second, I just finished my master's last month in international development and public policy. But my work experience is in
from which university?
From the University of Chicago.
Oh, really? Okay, great.
So I just finished from there, but my work experience is, I worked at PwC for like 6 years doing public accounting, and that was just, I went off track from what I initially wanted to do from undergrad. So my going back to U Chicago was to kind of to find my way back to the development industry. So right now, since my experience is, at least in my mind, kind of far-fetched from what you may be looking for, I was wondering if that would be like a disadvantage, since I don't have any practical hands-on experience yet in development.
Glenn, can I just
sure, go ahead.
With an answer? Okay, so I think that it's a question that's kind of repeating itself, and you might have other people that's questioned. So thank you for sharing your concerns. The idea of the course is to see if you are in the field, if you're enjoying it, if you want to continue working on it. Professor Iago really is touching a lot of fields in his course, and it's really a financial innovation course on a lot of aspects. And I think that if you're interested in it, then you're more than welcome to join, of course, if we have to review your CV. But definitely, I think the course is exactly for someone like you, that you have some kind of experience, you're not sure. And I think this is going to, it's a great way to see. Again, the course does, it's mandatory to read and write and be active. So you have to take into consideration if you're enjoying it, if you want to take part of it. But I think this is a great way for you to learn if that's what you want to do.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's very much a survey course, looking at the applications and looking at the problems and how to deploy these instruments and these tools to them. So it definitely it would be of interest and accessible to you.
Okay, thank you.
HP. You're raising your hand.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay, this is James Tolley from Sierra Leone. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes. Where are you from?
James Tolley from Sierra Leone. James from Sierra Leone.
Oh, Sierra Leone. Okay, great.
Yes. My first degree was BS Economics, and I have MBA in Finance and Accounting. So presently, I am working as the head of internal audit at ASA Microfinance, a microfinance institution with 47 branches. So my question is, I just want to know with this, my area of work and the experience over if this type of program actually would create a platform for this type of courses I'm doing now.
Absolutely. I'm just learning to use the reactions here. So big thumbs up on that one. Yeah, I think you'd pick up a lot of skills and a lot of the issues about how to build more liquidity into a microfinance platform.
Yes. Yeah.
So very appropriate area of interest.
Okay, thank you.
Friday Agala. Friday, you had a question? You have your hand raised? Yes.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. My name is Friday Agala from Nigeria. I have master's in economics and I'm currently doing my PhD program in economics at the University of Port Harcourt in Nigeria. I am also an assistant lecturer in the University of Calabar. I have research interest in sustainable development goals and also financial inclusion and economic growth in fragile countries. I've also worked on alternative financing options for infrastructural development in Africa. My question is, Ms. Oli mentioned something about a project at the end of the pre-course. So please, could you also understand whether we are kind of restricted to particular areas, or the center has specific things that we need to work on during the pre-course? Thank you.
Glenn, would you like to answer that?
Sure. I would say that what is our priorities here are those of the SDGs. So to whatever extent we can talk about sustainable development, the specific target is up to you, or where you have a problem definition. We always consider a problem definition as some area where there's been a market failure that has not been able to be financed. So how can we create the financing? So it's we don't have any preferred targets. The SDGs really do cover so much, but food, water, energy, health, and any combination thereof in terms of livable cities, life on the land. You guys all know the drill in terms of the 17 goals and what they're targeting. So it's really up to you to come up with an interesting project. Baye, I think Baye is trying to.
Right, Baye. Oh, now he disappeared. Baye?
No,
Okay.
Can you hear me? My name is Jerome. My name is Jerome Ndayambaje from Rwanda. I work with the Capital Market Authority. I work as an ICT manager, and I'm involved in ICT related matters and the fintechs, subtech and regtech. So I'm very much interested in this course, and I have master's degree in IT and bachelor's of computer science. Now I want to ask if this course will be virtual, or it will require us to maybe participate in the center in the Jerusalem, or we will be following the course online over our normal stations. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. We answered the courses via Zoom. We're all around the world, and the courses are going to be via Zoom.
Yeah. If there's a group of students that are in Rwanda or Nigeria that are located, I mean, the Berkeley students, we have many of them are online, but some of them are in a classroom. But I think the best way to do this, just given the restrictions that we're all operating under these days, is that this is an online class.
Hello.
Baye? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much.
Baye, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Gabriel Ababa Baye from Ethiopia. I'm hearing you now.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I have a BSc degree in natural resource economics and management, as well as master's degree of agricultural economics. My professional experience is a lecturer from the universities and also business consultant. I got this course, it's very interesting for me. So if the network or the internet is not available, how the course will be offered, I need more explanations. Thank you so much.
Baye, that's great. Which university are you with in Ethiopia?
Yeah, good. From University of Gondar, Ethiopia.
Okay, from
University of Gondar. Do you know Gondar?
Yes,
The place
certainly
where
do.
most of the Israeli communities were lived here.
Right. Well, you do need to have internet connection and for the course for sure. But
maybe if
we certainly
okay. Sometimes maybe there is some internet connection problems. That's why I'm asking the question.
Right. Well, we operate on a learning platform, of the Hebrew University, and we record all the lectures. So if you go out or you have some stoppage or whatever, you can always get back on. You'll be on the Hebrew University learning platform and have access to all the course materials.
Oh,
that way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, we were recording, but we are recording all classes, but we want also to be active for you in the classes and hand in on the materials. And then, yeah, you have to have internet. I just want to clear that after the fellowship, currently the fellowship is in your local community, unless we have some kind of vaccine for everybody on COVID, and then the fellowship might be in Israel. So I understood I wasn't clear on that, so I did want to clear that. And now I see we have a lot of questions, so if we don't get to answer, please send us an email and we'll be happy to answer. But let's take a few more and then we'll see how we're doing time-wise.
If I might suggest, Orly, let's just take, let's do 5 questions at a time and see if we can get through the hands that are raised in the next 10 minutes. So
Talia, did you have a question? Talia?
I think she asked her question. Maybe she just didn't take her hand down. Koheri, would you go next?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. My name is Kenneth Koheri. I work for the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I had my BSc in plant science and biotechnology, and then I had my postgraduate as a fellow at George Washington, the George Washington University, Washington, D.C. I'm also a fellow with Milken Institute.
Oh, okay. Terrific, right. I was just with Carol last week in California. So, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. So my interest is on capital market development, especially had to do with small and medium scale enterprises and how they can have understanding on how to groom them to come to list at the exchanges. And, because we had issues in Nigeria, most companies are struggling. One of the things that in every economy, almost had their square on small and medium scale enterprises because they majorly give the jobs. And we see what's going on in Nigeria today. A lot of things are happening in terms of job and then inclusion, financial inclusion, especially women as well. So we're working on that, and then I'm also a part of the committee with Security and Exchange Commission, where we're trying to also have a 10-year master plan on development of Nigerian capital market. So my question is, in all of this, do we have the institutes have a kind of a program or project that will actually project, having to understand how to groom SMEs no matter what their facets, where they belong in the economy, so that they're able to grow them. And especially one of the issues we have is corporate governance issues with some of these SMEs, because they don't last. Most of these companies do very well, but they don't last for more than 10, 20 years. And when the owner dies, and that's the end of the company. So I want to have a project that we can understand how to be able to manage this company, grow them to become a giant company. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you. Let's do a lightning round on this top row, and then we'll go to the second one, and I'll answer the row by row. That's Bonnie, Mercy, Serenity, and Emmanuel. So if you could just keep your questions, introduction short, and your questions short. Let's do the lightning rounds here. Bonnie, you're next.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. My name is Bonnie Madrawi. I'm from Uganda. I currently work for a fintech firm called Flutterwave. Actually, the company recently became a unicorn and raised about $300 million.
Wow.
I'm working for settlements and treasury department, but I'm very interested in investment management, especially in the area of empowerment. So I wanted to ask, is there is there a provision for this particular area? And I would be very interested to know this going forward.
Okay, Mercy, you're next, and then I'll answer this row's questions. Mercy, you're up.
Hello everyone. I had a quick question. I didn't do a master's degree, but I did a profession that's equivalent to a master's degree. I did ACCA. So I don't know if that will make me still compatible with the program or not.
We'll come back to that. Serenity, you're next.
I can't
You're
hear
on
you.
mute.
You're on mute.
Mute.
Yes, hello everyone.
My
Although
apologies. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, now we can.
Okay, my humble apologies there. My name is Serena and I'm calling from South Africa. I'm a businesswoman and an entrepreneur, so to say, and we produce luxury body care products. And under me, I have about 5 staff. So I'm also completing a BCom marketing degree. And so I just want to find out, for somebody who is a strict entrepreneur, entrepreneurship business, and I've had quite a number of delegates who are here. They are very much into finances. I'm not very much into finances, but into finance, but as an entrepreneur, you find yourself juggling so many roles, from being a CEO to finance to marketing to administration. So you literally are running the business altogether. For somebody like me, whom I just classify myself as an entrepreneur, do I qualify for the kind of work that you do, the kind of trainings that you do?
Okay, we'll come back to that. Emmanuel, would you?
Hi. Hi, good day, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Wandu Emmanuel. So currently, I'm the Nigerian lead of LPG at the Global Clean Cooking Alliance, the Nigerian branch of it. I'm an entrepreneur, just like the previous lady. And in my first startup, which I led and successfully exited, Kia Gas, we initiated a new program called the Gaspreneur Scheme, which is primarily driving clean cooking penetration through creating businesses. So we created 59 of those businesses across 9 states in Nigeria, and altogether we facilitated about $3 million that they used to set up these businesses through the Bank of Industry in Nigeria and other private investors. So my question is, I don't have a master's degree. I'm not even doing one currently, but my experience in developing policies, for the Lagos state government and the Delta state government, and to also help these gaspreneurs businesses raise capital, puts me in that position to really have a practical experience around development finance, because I work directly with the guys that need these monies, and they've been able to deploy these businesses. I see the real life choke points, and I understand the policy issues around it because I serve as an advisor to different governments, at different levels. And my role at the Global Clean Cooking Alliance also allows me to overlay all of this experience. So I want to find out if my skills are relevant, for qualification as regards the fellows program. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Well, let me just take that 5 so we can move quickly on to the next 5. I think we're going to need to take another 10, 15 minutes here to get through these, but I do want to try to address people's questions. Emmanuel, definitely these questions about the clean cooking. I was just talking with Dan Kamen at Berkeley, energy economist, about this, and the quality of the question is really a key driving aspect here. Of turning that into a type of a project could be very interesting. Serenity, I think we just need to learn more about the formulation of what would be relevant for you and the specific business target that you're identifying, to see if that's appropriate or not. The same that would be true for Mercy. Bonnie, your point from Uganda on fintech and its applications, again, these it very much aligns with what Koeni was talking about from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. All of these are very relevant and very important. So I would just say these are consistent with the interest and the types of interest we're trying to operationalize into projects. Muhammad, I think you've already asked us a question, right, from Sierra Leone. If you have an additional one, please note that to Esther in the chat and we'll come back to you. David Kim, a familiar name, and Kaylin, Ephraim, Charles, and Ismail. If we can, let's move quickly. David, do you want to go next? Good to see you. You're muted. Can't hear you.
Yeah. Hi, David here. Good to see you, Prof. It's been a while. David, originally from Nigeria, currently here in Israel. I just rounded up my master's in international development. I have a question, but more reason why I wanted to talk was to make a comment about the course and my experience in the course, sort of like giving a recommendation to everyone that might have a doubt or not about taking the course. I really had a very wonderful learning experience in the course. Of all the courses I had during my program here at the Hebrew University, it's amongst the courses I usually talk about, like the most, and recommend to everyone that comes after me to take the course. Then to my question, for those of us that are still here in Israel, I mean, for my own case, I have done the course, so I guess I've made that prerequisite. If eventually I get accepted to the fellowship, will there be a provision for us that are here to have like live sessions?
Oh, yes. We will be having live sessions here with Hebrew University students, so we can accommodate. Love to hear more about what you're interested in. So let's be in touch. Let me go back to our friends that are joining us. Kaylin and Charles and Ismail. Kaylin, would you like to go ahead first? Kaylin, Ephraim?
How are you? Yes, good morning, sir. My name is... Good morning, sir.
She like uncle, she don't like you.
But she not to make her go like uncle.
Kaylin, we can't hear you.
My name is Karen Ifem, a PhD student rounding up my PhD in environmental biology. And presently, I'm an intern with East West Knowledge Transfer, which is an agricultural company, that NGO that deals with vegetables. And I have interest in SDGs. My question that I don't know if this program can allow someone to do a project on environmental pollution on either water, soil, or any other environmental related issues. Secondly,
Yes,
I want to know the projection for the project.
Sure. Environmental projects and climate finance and environmental finance is a key theme of the course. So we have we deal with natural capital issues, biodiversity, and the like as well. So absolutely. So yes, by all means, Kaylin, this is an important area of inquiry. Let's
Charles,
see.
we have Charles.
Charles and Ismail. Charles, you go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. Nice to be here once again. I'm currently tying up my master's degree in international relations, and I'm a bridge fellow of the Economic Summit Group in Nigeria. I'm currently a data research analyst in a leading violent conflicts around Nigeria, and it has given me deep insights on some of the challenges faced by smallholder farmers in local areas.
Okay, Charles, I think I've got that. We're having a little bit of connectivity problems. Let me just continue on and just ask our next.
Is there in...
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me now?
No, Charles, maybe you should communicate this in the chat and we'll come back to you. Let's just go through quickly Ismail and Kingsley and Ozuhu. If you could give your comments real quickly and I will respond.
All right, good morning, everyone.
We can't hear you, Ozuhu.
Everyone. Good morning, hello, good morning, everyone.
Go ahead. Continue.
It's Ozuhu Nations Initiative. I'm a senior program officer. I have my master's in media and cultural studies. And at the moment, I work for an education program and presently working on working with underserved persons to improve their economic lifestyle. So
Ozuhu, I'm going to have to ask. The connection's very. Ozuhu, I'm afraid we can't hear you.
Ozuhu, we can't hear you. I'm putting I can't put her on mute,
Okay, we're just going to have to go on. Esther, could you please apologize to Ozuhu and ask her to communicate in the chat? These are the difficulties of Zoom world, right, for us all. Kingsley, or Ismail, did I get your comment? I did not, I don't believe we did. Ismail and Kingsley.
Do I have the floor, please?
Yes. Please, Kingsley, you go right ahead.
Yes, greetings to you, Prof. It's so awesome seeing your face this morning. So I'll just go straight into it because we're out of time. I have a degree in mathematics, but currently I'm an entrepreneur. I'm into manufacturing of polythene bags, but with recent developments and standardization, as well as globalization, I'm tipping towards the UN 17 SDGs with particular interest in health and environment. So I'm looking at production of biodegradable plastics, moving from the usual plastics to bioplastics. I've started making research in that regard, and I feel that this fellowship will be a platform to really explore that and see what is happening in Israel and see how that can be done in Nigeria and also extended to Africa, every part of Africa. So my question would be, are there opportunities for practical sessions? People like us who like dealing with practicals, not just the theoretical aspect of the job. So if one eventually gets the opportunity, would there be opportunity for practical sessions to see where these things are done and learn from it, and also see how we can transfer those skills and knowledge down here in Nigeria? Thank you and God bless.
Okay, thank you, Kingsley. And Daniel, Daniel and Etim, if you could add your comments or your questions real quickly, and then I want to give a quick response and we'll wrap up.
All right, good day,
Planning.
everyone.
We can't hear you really well.
I am Efanga Precise. Hear me clearly now?
Yes, you're better now.
All right. So I have my BSc in marine biology, and currently I work for an organization called Connected Development Code. So for Connected Development, I happens to be the state's lead for their movement called Follow the Money, and also the South-South Zonal lead for the Follow the Money movement. And what we basically do is to advocate for transparency and accountability in the public use of funds by government agencies and government representatives. Now, on that note, I also have my organization, an NGO, that's into education. Like we work closely with the SDG Goal 4, advocating for quality education here in the state and the country, Nigeria. So I want to ask, based on what I do, I don't know if I can still be opportune to be a part of the program, because for my organization, we are strictly working with the goal for quality education, helping the underprivileged to get access to quality education here in the country. Because from statistics, we've noticed that over 10 million children are out of school in Nigeria alone. And we want to see how through our initiatives, we can bridge that gap and, definitely reduce drastically that amount using our projects and programs to solve that problem. So I want to know, with what I do currently, do I still have opportunity, or is there an opportunity for me to also be a part of this program, using the program to help expand my initiative and help solve more problems here. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mercy. Daniel, did you have a final question, and then I'll quickly respond.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good day, Prof, and good day, everyone. My name is Daniel Ofeku. So my concern is this: I graduate of petroleum engineering. So but I intend doing my master's in environmental engineering. So so far I'm so interested about the environment and environmental maintenance and keeping up the environments to be neat and so on. So my major interest for now is based on carbon capture and storage. So my interest, I developed this interest due to an occurrence I read about in 1986 about how some people in southern Cameroon, in northwestern Cameroon, that are actually suffocated from carbon coming out from the lake. So I'm interested in seeing how I can be able to capture carbon and save people from carbon suffocation and so on. So apart from that, I'm also working with an organization whereby with the Young Innovation Leadership Program, where we are working to see how we can reduce non-biodegradable waste from the environment. So we're trying to see how we can develop packaging systems that don't encourage non-biodegradable waste. So I don't know how this program will be able to help me on.
Very good. Let me just quickly go through. I mean, we've heard here from David and from Kaylin, and clearly this is an open door on all these issues about, and I see there's a sort of a self-organizing principle here of folks in the environmental finance area. All of the projects you're mentioning just now, the carbon capture issue, we'll be talking about monetizing carbon into projects, not only as offsets, but also looking at carbon capture as a main area of technological development. Kingsley's interest in biodegradable plastics, clearly single-use plastics, we have to get beyond that and come up with biodegradable alternatives for this and ways of financing that. The same thing, Charles, you mentioned about conflict mitigation. I think we got a whole portfolio of issues here. Very impressed by all of you who have spoken today and communicated. We've done our best to give you a very rapid response, and hope you'll be able to join us in the first class on October the 10th. We may be coming back to you with additional questions or dialogues. Please do send Esther and myself and Orly any email of questions that you would like to additionally raise that we haven't been able to address in this session. And apologies for speaking so fast, but I'm very excited by the rich amount of experience and interest, and most important, passion to engage these sustainable development goals and work on them with us together. So I think we'll start to try to do some team building and figure out what we're able to absorb in terms of the number of people we can absorb in the course. But really, so with that, I really want to thank you again, and we'll be back in touch. Please stay in touch with us. You'll be hearing from Esther or us shortly in terms of any requests for additional information. And we'll try to respond quickly over the next couple of weeks and be communicating with you. But thanks for joining us, and God bless, and let's keep working on these issues together. Thank you.